Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. This is MagTalks. This is where we like to have local experts talk about something that they want to share with the community. And today we're super excited to have Caroline Alabach. She is with Mainspring Wealth Advisors here in the village. Caroline, you've been in the village, I believe, for 20 plus years. Is that right?
23 years.
23 years. So one of the things we've been talking about recently with Caroline and her team is there's a new tax that I was made aware of that the Washington state legislators passed this year, and it has to do with long-term care. Can you kind of help us understand what that tax is, Caroline?
Sure, Jason. Thank you. Thanks. I really welcome the opportunity. I think it's really important people kind of grasp what's going on with this new tax. First, just to let you know what long-term care is. Long-term care comes into play when you have a physical or cognitive impairment that requires you to have assistance with the activities of daily living. So things like getting out of bed, eating, getting dressed, taking a shower, things like that. It's really important to understand that these are non-medical needs. So a lot of people will say, I don't need long-term care insurance. I've got really good medical insurance. It's not any medical type of coverage that you need for this. And, you know, we are living longer and longer these days, and it's estimated that 70% of us are going to need some type of long-term care in our lifetime. And so that can be, you know, in your home, it can be in an adult daycare facility, it could be in a long-term care facility or nursing home.
Oh, that's a lot. So I'm guessing most of us have not been down that road before, and so cost of these things are probably one of our key questions. Do you have any idea what kind of costs we're looking at?
Yeah, it's not cheap. And the state of Washington is pretty expensive because of our wages here. So, you know, if you're going to have someone in your home for, say, 40 hours a week, that can run anywhere around $62,000 a year or more. If you are in like a one-bedroom assisted living facility, expect to be spending around $65,000 or more. And then if you needed to be in full care, nursing home, that can be anywhere from $100,000 up to $135,000, $40,000 a year, depending on what type of facility you're in.
Wow, that's staggering.
It is staggering. And that's, you know, we see, you know, the biggest sums of money coming out of here are to pay for these type of things.
Really? Wow. So how does this tax work that they've passed?
So great question. So this Washington State has been working on this for a couple of years and finally has it in place and ready to go. So beginning January 1st of next year, anyone that is a W-2 employee will have a payroll tax of 0.58% of their entire earnings. So that's $58 for every $10,000 of income. And it's really important to understand that this isn't just your general wages, it's your bonuses, it's your RSUs, it's stock options. So, you know, sky's the limit. If it's on your W-2, the tax is going to apply to it. Also, they're eligible, the state is eligible to review the rate every 2 years. So we don't really see taxes going down anytime soon, so I can only imagine that it will be going up. Now, what do you get for paying into this tax? So you do get benefit of some long-term care coverage. So they will reimburse you once you qualify for the coverage. Once you have vested into the plan, they will pay up to $36,500. That's your full payment for basically think of that as $3,000 a month for 1 year. Another really key factor to think about is that if you move out of the state of Washington, you don't get anything. You can't collect on this at all. So it's really important that you have a good idea about this. There's a very good website out there, wacaresfund.org. washington.wa.gov that goes into some more details.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. So if there's some reason that someone wanted to try to get out of the tax, is that even a possibility?
It is a possibility, but you need to make sure you act fairly quickly. So Washington State is allowing you to be exempt from the tax if you have your own private long-term care insurance. And so there's lots of different versions of private long-term care insurance out there, but you have to have it in place by November 1st of this year. The state will allow you to apply for that exemption beginning in October through the end of the year. And the most important thing, I think, is that people look at what the options are and make an educated decision on this type of insurance. For some people, the Washington State plan is going to be a great benefit for them. For other people, depending on their age and their amount of income that they make or that they expect to make, looking at a private long-term care policy is really a great idea. They may end up with much better coverage. They will certainly end up with something that they can take to any state and use. So remember, you only get to access these benefits if you live in the state of Washington. So I think it's just really important people are educated and make the decision that's best for their situation.
That is so good to hear. One of the things I really appreciate about being a part of the chamber is we have so many great businesses that they're here to serve their community, and to have that perspective that I'm just here as an information source. You as a family unit have to decide what's best for you. I think that's a really great point. And listening to what you've said today, I know for myself, my wife and I, we're going to definitely be looking into this because the clock is ticking.
Right.
Technically we have, I think you said till November 1st, but there's a lot of data and research and, policy gathering to do before that. So,
right. There's a lot of activity out there. I mean, we are sleeping, eating, and drinking long-term care insurance these days. It takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to actually put a policy in place from the day you sign your application. So I think get on it right now. The long-term care companies are going to be very overwhelmed. Washington State is the first state that's doing something like that, but I think it's going to be coming in other states as well. So, I would reach out to your financial advisor, to your insurance agent. We are here as a resource. We would be more than happy to educate you and your family, or if you have a group of friends or coworkers, we're happy to sit down with a group of you and just go through the different options and explain the different types of long-term care policies that are available to you.
That's great. So for those of you who are watching this, I would encourage you to share this with your friends, colleagues, family members that are in Washington State. Just because we found you through our social media and other means doesn't mean that they're following. And this is really good information that I think the majority of our friends and neighbors need to know about. So, Caroline, thank you so much for you and your team being so available, eager to share. You've done all the hard research and pulling of data. So I appreciate you and what you do there.
Thank you so much.